Section 17. This section's a repeated figure. It's the 12th fret on the G string bent up a whole step, and then 2 hits on the 10th fret of the B string. So that happens 4 times. The last time is subtly different. You've got the 12th fret bend on the G string, but instead of the double hit on the 10th fret of the B string, there we'll go 10, 13, then 10th fret on the top E string, then up to the 12th fret on the top E string. Section 18. We're starting with the 12th fret of the top E bent up a half step. And then as that note sustains, flick the pickup selector down to the bridge position, and that's re-picked. Then again, but bend up from the 12th up to the 15th fret of the top E. Then 2 bends here, the 15th fret of the B string up a whole tone, and then release that second one. 13th on the B, 15 on the B, 14 on the G, 13 on the B, and then 15 on the B to finish. Section 19. Right, 10th fret on the B string, 13th fret, and that's bent up a quarter tone, 10th fret on the top E, 12th on the top E, then 12th on the top E with a half step bend, release that bend, then pull off to 10 on the top E, then 13 on the B, back to 10 on the top E, 13 on the B pulling off to 10, then 12 on the G, 10 on the B hammering on to 13, 10 on the top E, 13 on the B, bend up a whole step, then release that bend, then down to 12 on the B. A little trill here between 10, 12 and 10, that's hammer on and pull off. Okay. Then 9th fret on the B string, 10th on the B string, then 10th fret on the B string, bend up a whole tone and then release, like that. 9th fret on the G, slide down, 5th fret on the G, bend up a whole tone, then 5th fret on the G with no bend, vibrato it a bit like that, then slide up. Section 20. Okay, we're starting with the 3rd fret on the low E string, which is bent up a half tone, then open A string, then 3rd on the A, semi-pinch harmonic there, not 2, but then up to the 5th fret of the A string, bend up a whole tone, then down to the 5th fret again, no bend. Now this section is very much improvised, I think, in the studio, so I'm going to try and make the fingering sensible. We're starting on the 3rd fret of the D string and then sliding up to the 7th. Then down to the 5th fret of the D string, then we're going to slide from the 5th to the 7th, then up to the 10th. Okay. Then jump over to the 7th fret of the G, then back to the 10th of the D string, sliding up to the 12th. 10th on the G, 12th on the D. Then these notes are quite quickly played in sequence. It's 10 on the G, 10 on the B, 13 on the B pulling off to 10, 12 on the B, then a trill between 10, 12 and 10 on the B, hammer on and pull off. Okay. Then 12 on the G, 10 on the B, 13 on the B, 15 on the B, bend up a whole tone, Then reach over with your little finger perhaps and do the 15 on the top E. Okay, then back to the 15th fret of the B string, bend up a whole tone, release the bend and pull off to 13. Section 21. Okay, we're starting with the 15th fret of the B string, bend up a whole tone. Then 15th fret of the B, no bend. 13 on the B. 2 hits on the 10th of the top E. 13 on the B. Back to the 10th on the top E. Then pull off from 12 to 10 on the same string. 13 to 10. Then back to 12 to 10. 13 on the B. 10 on the top E. Then it's 13, 12 and 10 on the B. 13 on the G. 12 to 10 pull off on the B string. 13 on the G. 10 on the B. 9 on the G. Trill between 7, 9 and 7 on the G, hammer on and pull off. 5 sliding down to 4 on the G string. And a long slide here from the 7th fret of the D string. I'm sure it was probably random at the time, but by lucky chance happens to go all the way up, whoop, like that, onto the 19th fret of the D string. Section 22. (20) on the B string, bend up a whole step. 17 on the top E. 20 on the B, pulling off to 17. 19 on the G, 17 on the B, then 19 on the G, bend up a whole tone, release the bend and pull off to 17. 19 on the D, then it's 19 on the G, 19 on the D, 17 on the G, hammering on to 19, then 17 on the B, 17 on the top E, 20 on the top E, bend up a whole tone, then again, and then twice more, and wobble. Section 23. (20th fret on the top E string, then 17 hammering on to 19, then a trill between 17, 19 and 17, hammer on and pull off. 20 on the B string, up a quarter tone bend. Okay, then 17 on the top E string. 17 on the B string, hammering onto 20, pulling off to 17 again. 19 on the G, pulling off to 17. Then 19 on the D, G, back to the D. 17 on the G, hammering onto 19. 17 on the B, 17 on the top E, then 20 on the B, bending up a whole tone. Now this last move happens 3 times. It's the 17th fret on the top E, then the 20th fret on the B, bent up a whole tone. So, and then finish with another 17 on the top E. Section 24. (20) on the top E, bend up a whole step. 20 on the top E, no bend. 17 on the top E. 20 on the B. 17 on the B. 20 on the G, pulling off to 19, then 17. 19 on the D. 19 on G. 19 on the D again. 17 on the G. 19 after that. Then again the pull off with the 20th, 19th and 17th in sequence on the G string. Then 3 hits on the 19th of the G. With a bit of vibrato there. Back to the 17th on the G, then slide down. Section 25. Start on the 19th fret of the G string, bend up a whole tone. Then the 17th fret on the B. Now this next move is repeated 4 times. It's the 19th fret on the G, bent up a whole tone. Then 17th on the B. 20th on the B, pulling off to the 17th. So as I say, that's 4 times. Okay. Then we're back to the 19th fret on the G, bending up a whole tone. 17th on the B. 19th on the G with that bend again. 3 hits on the 17th fret of the B string. Back to that bend on the 19th fret of the G. 2 hits on the 17th of the B string. Then jump over to the 19th fret of the D string. Section 26. Right, that's the 22nd fret of the top E string, the highest kind of bend there, bend up a whole tone, release the bend. Then it's 4 pre-bends here. So in other words, bend the string up a tone, strike the note and release the bend. So then finally, a single bend, and still on the 22nd fret, no bend. And then there's a kind of general guitar noise. So I'll recap that phrase and show you how that fits in. Section 27. Nineteenth fret on the top E, bend up a half step. Then 19, no bend. 17, 19. Then 20 on the B, 17 on the top E, 20 on the B pulling off to 17, 19 on the G, 17 on the B, 19 on the G pulling off to 17, 19 on the D, 19 on the G pulling off to 17, 19 on the A string, sliding down to the 17th, then pulling off to the 15th. Okay. 17 on the bottom E. 17 on the A. 17 on the bottom E again. 15 on the A. 17 on the A. 17 on the A again, but this time there's a half tone bend. Then 17 on the A, no bend. Then 15 on the A, sliding down. Section 28. Okay, this is the 20th fret of the top E, whole tone bend. Then the same again, release the bend slightly in between. Then 4 more of those. Okay, then 20 on the top E, 17. 2 hits on the 20th fret, both bent up a quarter tone. Okay, then back to the 17th fret. Then deliberately allow a bit of string noise. I'll demonstrate that in full in a second. And 22nd fret on the top E, bend. So let's demonstrate that.